I tell jokes. I tell jokes in different area codes. Area codes. Jokes, jokes, jokes in different area codes. Area codes. Now you thought that I was just 212 and 210. I'm worldwide. Don't act like you don't know. In Afghanistan performing for the troops. Kept thinking, where the fuck do people take their poops? 718s, 202s. I left most gigs with IOUs. 901, matter of fact, 305. Quincy Jones G4, meet me outside. 312 and 313s. That's where Dan Filato fucks Rick Steves. 210s, back on track. All these kids coming and you know he's black. 619, 916, sound like jizz on my belly. Drug charges won't stick. 707, 303s, bad road coke with Bob Levy. Is it cause they like my guinea walk? Guinea walk. Is it cause they like my witty talk? Witty talk. Is it cause they like my handsome face? Handsome face. Is it cause they like my Jersey ways? Jersey ways. Whatever it is, they love it and they just won't let me be on Twitter. Farass, Ryan Sharman, Steve Torelli, freak out. If I don't do like 20 podcasts a week, just calm down before I let Bosco comment for me. I tell jokes. I tell jokes in different area codes. Area codes. Jokes, jokes, jokes in different area codes. Area codes.
Of course, Dan Filato's here. The voice here is Johnny Styne. Johnny is, well, you know, I'll make an informal announcement. I think you're going to hear a lot of Johnny on the show. He's available, and he's a real funny guy, funny writer that I've known for a long time. And I think he has the same sensibility as us. So there's different things we're discussing on how to use him, and not the least of which is just coming in and hanging. And, you know, I mean, you're comfortable with me saying this, right? I mean, obviously, I think, right?
Scream it from the rooftops, brother.
No, John is writing for something called The American Bystander right now. Just give a quick explanation of what that is again.
Like you said, it's kind of an Onion, National Lampoon kind of magazine, quarterly. Right. Writers from Letterman, Simpsons, Onion.
Big time guys, including our friend, Steve O'Donnell, who is amongst comedy writers, legendary. A real original thinker and a nice guy. And he, when you get guys like him writing for something, it's legit. And you have your second article coming out of there, correct?
Yeah, it's out. I got a copy. I'll give that to you during the piss break. I wrote they asked me to write something, linear for the last time around, so that'll be in the next issue. So I did a one-off gag this time.
So linear meaning like you're going to linear within one issue, or you're going to have a
meaning like
continued story?
Meaning like a 3, 4, 5 page kind of deal.
In one issue, not just, okay.
Right. So this time I did a one-off
short
gag.
story.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
And our friend Steve Torelli, he did the artwork for my gag.
Is that true, Steve? I'm so glad. Steve's a talented fucking guy, man. And so he's a real deal then. He's hired as an artist.
He's a nationally published artist.
Good. Now, I hope we got him the job. Because we can hang that over him. Quite frankly, a guy like that could have more dignity at a Philly gig when he's trying to hug Dan.
Like Sammy Davis hugged Nixon?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Worse. Let me tell you something. Everybody's equal in my eye. Sam, I've got a couple of jokes. I'll tell you something. I hired these fuckers from the Bystander. Henry, do you understand the Onion thing? Now, I heard the Onion is what colored people call asses. This arsenic Hall said to me. He called me, he goes, I said, I'd like to know something from the black vernacular. I've come back from it, it's a new series that Danny Aykroyd's playing me with a mustache. I mean, Jesus. I just throw a Letterman beard on me for Christ's sake. By the way, what the fuck is with Letterman? I knew that Jew would lose it. Are you saying he's not a Jew, Henry? Bullshit. Yeah, and you weren't a Jew for the first 5 years I knew you. Hey, what are you're always off for, you're always going to the kibitz. You're always kibitzing in the Kabul. Whatever the fuck it was. You told me you were a Sicilian with a Juvra. Mr. President, we don't have... Shut up, Yeah, that doesn't sound too Jewy. Holy, you sound like Simon Wiesenthal. Trying to get one over on Dick Nixon. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What do you think you are, some sort of Cuban burglar? I'll never forgive him. Anyway, this Kennedy fucker, he's getting laid in every fucking goddamn room of the house. And I'm looking back here, and of course I'm coming back in time. Clinton shoves a fat chick under the desk and fucks her with a goddamn Cuban cigar. Talk about a Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm telling you. Hey, he got her with a Havana. Bill Clinton's in here with a goddamn Havana. Yeah, Kissinger wasn't Jewish either, so I'm sure Letterman doesn't keep holy on the Sabbath. That Jew mother of his calling in. Yeah, she tried to play off as a wasp. She's no wasp. She's not welcome in San Bernardino. Or Saddle River, where we have the compound, the restricted compound. Kissinger's calling in notes. Anyway, the Onion according to this arsenic Hall guy, the Onion is what colored fellas called a woman's ass because it was so sweet it made you cry. That's what Hall said. I mean, did you think I'd make something up? This is the Jig told me this. This is straight from the Jig's mouth. He's a funny man. I call him Jig Notaro. I've used that joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Jig Notaro. And he's going into the dog pound with his shirt off. He's got bigger tits than Tig Notaro. I'll tell you, you're not going to call her Tit Notaro. That would be an ironic nickname. Like when you call a fat guy Tiny. You understand what I'm saying? A fat guy Tiny. Or Kissinger Jew. Hey, Kissinger, when did you come out to me about the Jew thing? What was it, Holy Hanukkah? We were listening to the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler. And he says, Paul Newman and what's-her-face, Goldie Hawn, half Jew. Together, that's a fine-looking Jew. That's what he said. And then out of nowhere, Jimmy Kahn and Kissinger. And I said to Henry, you've got a lawsuit. He's calling you one of the chosen people.
Well,
He's calling, well, Mr. President, Jimmy Kahn spells it differently. Shut up! Don't keep holy. Don't you have another manure to light? Mr. President, manure is horse. Yeah, right. Did you get the picture? You get guess how I feel about the Jewish race? Manure. Manure. Now this fella Kaiser Permanente. We're going through all the old tapes. This fella Kaiser Permanente, Henry, you're Jew, you'll like this. He's using it for profit. He's trying to sell sick people medication for profit. He says, come here, I'll give you a physical. I'll give the old 1-2 sitcom physical. Come here. Come here, Maud. You're fine. Hey, Rue McClanahan, let me see those elbows. Guess what? You're fine. Pass. We're not going to find an old broad like you can be that sarcastic. You're passing the Jew physical. So, yeah, this Kaiser Permanente guy comes in and says, listen, not only am I the villain in The Usual Suspects. That's right. That's right. Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Permanente. Who is Kaiser Permanente? And it turns out he was the head of healthcare. Kind of a nerdy climax to the film. You're thinking he's going to be this big criminal. And the crime was he's ripping people off for healthcare. Chaz Palminteri's like, listen, pal, you can't be saved. You're a cripple. You're an idiot. You'll never get healthcare. Unless you know Kaiser Permanente. You know what the story goes? Healthcare providers tell the story to their kids. That the story of Kaiser Permanente. Supposedly, Kaiser Permanente comes home and his children are sick and they don't have any money for health care. And they see the provider of Aetna. And he's holding their kids. He has flu medication right there to save the Permanente children. Right there, he has the children. And the guy goes, no, I'm letting this kid die from lack of medication. And the kid dies. And now Mrs. Permanente, the mother of the children, is there. 3 other kids in really bad shape. A high fever, really bad. 103, 102. Mrs. Permanente gave them an enema around 4, but that was that happened anyway. And she gave herself an enema as well. Very kinky stuff. And Kaiser Permanente showed these men of will what a man of will really is. He said, I'm going to sit here and wait for my children to die. It could take months, but I'm going to wait here. And then I'm going to let one of you assholes live from Aetna. And I'm going to say, go back to all the other jerk-offs. Aetna, Habanana Mahanaha, Halekrina, Allstate. Tell Allstate that on top of new tires, they can get flu medication from Kaiser Permanente. And then he goes back and he kills all the Aetna children. And the Aetna children tell fairy tales at the end of the night. Yeah, rat on your dad and he'll never give you flu medication. So Kaiser Permanente. Yeah. So we're going to have him do the healthcare thing for profit. And I'm sure everything will be fine. That's enough dick licks. Anyway.
Simon Wiesenthal.
They look like Simon Wiesenthal. He's the guy. What is Simon Wiesenthal?
He was a Holocaust survivor.
Of course.
And then he hunted
the
Nazis,
a Nazi
right?
hunter.
Yeah,
He found Eichmann down in Argentina.
Yeah.
First of all, Holocaust survivor. How can you survive something that never fucking happened? Holocaust survivor. Yeah, what was he on Star Trek too? Did he go fuck a green bitch with Shatner after the Holocaust happened? Give me a break. Ain't no Holocaust girl. Ain't no Holocaust girl. Is that offensive? Fuck off. Of course, I was at Liberty Live last night. Very, 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 very big show. Kaiser Permanente is now my opening act, and he comes out and lets children die without flu medication. Anyway. So Johnny will be a voice you'll hear. And we appreciate that. John, how long have I known you? When's the first time I ever met you? You were was that Caroline's? Was that
Yeah.
what it was? I thought it was before that, actually.
Well, we had interacted a little bit. I made that short film for the Howard Stern Film Festival, Beat That Artie Lang.
Yeah, and you know what? That's right. That was a very, I was proud to have made a connection with somebody like that. That's right. You made that movie with about me. Explain the film. Explain it.
Well, as you remember, the rules of Howard Stern Film Festival is that it could be anything as long as it had something to do with the show.
Right.
And you had a recurring bit. Well, not a bit. You emptied the vending machine, right?
That's right.
So, and you had talked about how you would eat 6 Hostess cupcakes over a 4-hour show.
Literally, you could predict diabetes.
Only 6?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dad.
So I got together with a couple of buddies, a producer named Timmy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and we said, what is the stupidest way we can handle that fact about Artie? And so we decided, okay, I'm going to eat 6 Hostess cupcakes in 60 seconds.
That's right.
And that's the whole bit.
But you're right. Again, simple and funny. That's all you got to do. Now, how far did that get? Were you in the theater that night at the Hudson?
I think I was loitering
I
in the
hosted
neighborhood.
it.
Yeah.
I hosted it. That was fun. That was a fun thing. Again, a blur. Richard Roper was a guest.
A judge?
A judge.
Right.
And he had a smoking hot chick with him. And I needed a shave, and I said, I'm glad Richard Roper's here. I'm not the only one with a beard. Mike, Todd Phillips, I can't believe it, who put me in old school.
Right.
So
He was a
thank
judge
you.
of that.
He was another judge.
Yeah.
So Todd, Roper, and Howard and Robin, of course, were judges. And there was one other heavy hitter, I think, from the film world. Todd had just had Old School, and Hangover was about to come out. and the first one, which put him into the stratosphere. And but the fans, you guys really were creative. A lot of good stuff.
Thank you.
And I hosted it and had a blast. It was just like roasting people at the Hudson Theater on 44th Street, and we had a red carpet. You know, it just was a good time that I just ultimately had to fuck up. So a lot of things going on. So Johnny's sitting in today. We were trying to get the guy from Barstool. I apologize yesterday. Got all fucked up, and Johnny came, and but what happened to Barstool? Is he mad?
He hasn't texted me back.
Get over it, Barstool. This shit happens. You know how many times I showed up and Spade wasn't at rehearsal? He was at the car wash with Rebecca Rahman. Yes. I told him to look cool, like, you know, Sade. He has a bit where Sade is spelled Sade, you know, and he's mad when she gets mad that people mispronounce her name, and he's like, "Well, you spell it S-A-D-E. I mean, how do you? Your first leap isn't Sade." And he goes, "My name is S-P-A-D-E, but I don't pronounce it Ralph." And I pointed out to somebody else, one of his friends that was writing the movie that we did together, pointed out that the joke is funnier if it's Spade. And I said, "No, it's funnier if it's Ralph, because it's like insanely different." Which is what, and that was the guy writing the movie. Apparently he owed him a favor. I think that guy got a yellow GTO and we got a shit movie. Again, Spade is so funny that he, you know, at least when he's on screen, it's there's funny stuff going on, and that's about it. Norm the same way. Norm could save. Well, that's not true. By the way, Norm's new Netflix special, unbelievably great. My friend, the great Norm Macdonald. Check it out when you can, man. He is as good as a comedian gets, Norm. And my old pal, another great special. He's had a few under his belt. It's great. You know a comedian's a comedian when you know, the finances might get a little down or low. You might be in movie jail, as they say. Which, you know, Norm and I are both in a long stretch there. With a Manson of movie jailers. And but you go back to stand-up. What's great about being a stand-up comic or a writer, a comedic writer, you can create your own material. If you're just an actor, you don't have to wait for some shithead to come to you with an idea. Think about it. You got to be right for the idea, and then you got to audition for the idea, and the idea's got to get picked the fuck up, and blah, 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 blah. And eventually you're working for Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's in the news. Now, listen. Again. Steve Harvey. Now listen. I've known some uppity cunts. I've known a lot of uppity jigs. I mean, they think they own the place. This Sam Cooke cigarette fella, the entire time is hitting on Pat. He's trying to fuck my wife Pat the entire time. I said, lay off, pal. Lay off the merchandise. We don't need any coffee in the cream. Etc., etc., etc. And Pat got a good tongue lashing. I said, let him bang Checkers. Let him bang Checkers. And then Pat pointed out that would be bestiality. I said, on Checkers' part? And listen, she's prim and proper, but she's also my wife. She laughed her ass off about it. I said, remember, you're an old bitty white chick. If I told that joke when we were 17 at the old drive-in, when we were listening to, you know, the Cecil B. DeMille movies, trying to pick apart Birth of a Nation like Siskel and Ebert. You'd laugh dry. I said, bestiality, you mean on Checkers' part? Let me explain the misdirect there of the joke. There's a colored fella, Sam Cooke, and there's our filthy dog. Checkers, a filthy animal. Yeah, sure, domesticated, but filthy. You know, filthy animal. And the implication in the joke is that Checkers, the filthy animal, has sex with the colored fella, Sam Cooke. And I go, that would be bestiality. And Pat, of course, is like, you know, and I go, you mean on Checkers' part? I've walked you through it. Now, Steve Harvey, this to me, now look, everyone's calling him an asshole. He's not. He's not. He's not. I'm going to try to think of the letter, a K-list celebrity. All right, and I have this issue. Your own show, everybody's coming about. I have this at DirecTV. Everybody's in my face. Everybody. And I just say yes to everything to get the fuck away from me. I say yes to everything. Before you know it, Liz is doing the weather. And, with her coat on. But here's Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey hosts The Family Feud. I'll repeat that. Steve Harvey hosts The Family Feud. And Richard Dawson, you think Richard Dawson had a list like this? He wanted as much ass next to him as possible. By the way, Steve Ducey's son, the Ducey kid, his hair looks like, you know the Davy and Goliath cartoon?
Yes.
With the blonde kid has paint clay on his head. That's what he looks like. and he can't speak French. All right. Here we go. This is one of the most hilarious things I've ever read. Steve Harvey, the host of Family Feud, they get back. Look at his hair.
And that's for his talk show.
Yeah. Oh, his talk show?
Yeah.
How many fucking...
He's got like 3 full-time jobs. He's got the Family Feud.
So he's making up for a regular black guy. Motherfucker, Rodney, I'm picking up your slack. Ain't had a job in 6 years. I'm holding down 3 for the brothers. When we answer the census, we got high employment rate for my black hair. I got 3, motherfucker. I'll say it again, I'm holding down 3 positions right now. Jesus Christ. This is somewhere there's a Puerto Rican doctor canceling this shit out. What in the fuck? There's a Jewish defensive back for an NFL team holding this motherfucker out. Holding this motherfucker out. Yeah, someone is an American in North Korea not enslaved. Kim Sung-un. 3 jobs for a black guy. That is so unbelievable. There should be a statue of him in front of the unemployment office. Like Ernie Banks in front of Wrigley. In front of the unemployment office, there should be a picture of Steve Harvey. like Jackie Gleason, like Ralph Crammer's outside the Port Authority. In front of the unemployment office, the main unemployment office in New York, there should be a statue of Steve Harvey. One of those big zoot suits, fixing his mustache and his hair. And 3, motherfucker. Count them. Like Ernie Banks. Let's hold down 3.
Dick Allen.
Dick Allen.
No.
How many jobs you got? I'm good with the none. You're good with the none.
I'm good with...
That's my cousin Rodney's good with the none. Guess what? Motherfucker. Let's play 3. That's great. Steve Harvey Firestein. Oh, listen, motherfuckers. This is Steve Harvey Firestein. And I'm not taking any of your motherfucking bullshit. Okay, Holmes? Can I get a what? Can I get a nigga loving mama who's a slut? Can I get a hee-haw? My cum-drenched gullet is now hosting Family Feud. Family lewd. That's what I say. Hey, get over here, big boy. Steve, how are you doing? Are you still holding down 3? Do you think you could grab 8? Right here, baby. I'm thick. Okay, I don't want to take away from the humor of this. Steve Harvey, in a tone that can only be described as unbelievably hostile. Seething, ironic, and hostile. Starting off with this. This is to his whole staff.
Yes.
At his talk show. Starting off with this underlying seething. Good morning, everyone. Ready? Welcome back. Now that's the opening act. Like I say, that's David Johansen. You're about to hear The Clash, and then eventually The Who will take stage. Meet the old boss, same as the new boss. I'd like you all to review and adhere to the following notes and rules for season 5 of my talk show. Now, somewhere you know there's a perky Jew and a perky Italian. Now, some of those perky white people going, oh my God, I was CC'd on this. How great. I'm important. I'm important. Hey, Mom, I'm going to send this to my mother. Should we read it first? No, just send it. I'll go. There will be no meetings in my dressing room. No stopping by or popping in. In capital letters, no one. This is fantastic. Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door. If you open my door, expect to be removed. In capital letters. How much is he getting off on the fact that he knows a lot of white people are reading this? I'm so Steve Harvey, and I would be proud too if I was a black person. You have come. Think of Kunta Kinte. Think of they whipped him until he said Toby, and now you couldn't get in his dressing room. No popping in. This is amazing. Clearly black hostility, which is the reason we have a divided country, but still funny. My security team. My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me. I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I've been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends now. In capital letters, no more. Do not approach me. While I'm in makeup chair, unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell. There's a doorbell on the makeup area. Amazing. Does he have like that app where you see the burglar at your door? I see you, motherfucker. Is that the key grip? No, your fucking kid can't have tickets to my show in Peoria. Fuck off. I don't want to design it. I see I got you on camera. I got my app. By the way, the only place you see white burglars are in burglar alarm commercials. Yeah, three Richie Cunninghams. No one's even tan. And the family living in the beautiful house is like the Family Matters family. Urkel. Okay, the doorbell's amazing. I am seeking more free time for me throughout the day. Do not wait in any hallway to speak to me. I hate being ambushed. Please make an appointment. He's getting a little redundant. I promise you, I will not entertain you in the hallway. It sounds like he's not going to entertain us on the stage, either. And do not attempt to walk with me. Motherfucker! Everyone, do not take offense. If you're reading this, yes, I mean you. The new day of doing business is here. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment. Thank you all, Steve, head nigga, and John Harvey. That is fantastic. Well, and with that, I'll take my first diabetic piss and we'll comment with Johnny Styne on the other side. Okay, we're back here. We were talking about Steve Harvey and Simon Wiesenthal. I could keep saying Simon Wiesenthal. Well, listen, we're going to talk about it. It explains itself. Steve Harvey is, oh, look, it's Paul Michael Procurio. Paul is a great comic. I'm watching CNN right now. What is he doing on here now? He just got into a huge fight with Dan Natterman on the Comedy Central podcast.
Make it up. Yeah.
I'm glad to see this because, he's reviewing Saturday Night Live. Dan, can we tape this?
Yeah.
Wait, we'll see it live.
Without getting flattened, but then if they do, he jumps out from bushes and goes after them.
Weekend and check her back on the job today, as was his alter ego.
That is odd.
McCarthy. She is hosting Saturday Night Live this weekend.
Oh, she's hosting.
Check this out. This is Melissa outside of our CNN headquarters here in New York just this morning.
Oh, there's Sushi Davio.
Motorized podium. You know, you've seen the sketches. They are upping it and then some apparently for this upcoming Saturday
We're watching.
night. I have Emmy.
That is
Peabody
eerie.
award-winning comedian
The side.
Paul Mercurio, who is laughing along with me. Apparently, she's
How about if
just
there was no
inside
mic for him?
Jay, in his contact over at 30 Rock. She's apparently rolling
That'd be
around on
great.
her
She's out now?
motorized-
She's the best.
She's the best.
It gave me an idea that I just incorporate. I'm going to start a fleet of Sean Spicer pedicabs, and we get a whole bunch of lookalikes. And the slogan's going to be, "We'll get you there on time and very angry." Like, it actually looks like a game of Frogger, doesn't it? Where the reporters have to cross the street without getting flattened, but then if they do, he jumps out from bushes and goes after them that way. It's the best. It just writes itself.
It's
We don't
when the
know
anchor
that
person has no
this
idea
is
what you're
gonna
talking
Saturday.
about.
You know, she's the one hosting, but it's incredible to
That's
me
great
how-
stuff, Paul. That's it, Adam's
I'll never
here.
forget where I was when I first saw her, you know, as Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes look at Sean Spicer and you just think Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, right.
You look at
Yeah.
him and you go, Melissa McCarthy does it better than Sean Spicer than Sean Spicer.
How's that
Just what
possible?
she has to go in.
It's like Larry David when we were looking at so much of Bernie Sanders and how well he pulled that
Right
off.
now they're having two separate
This is the
conversations.
video that did it. This whole I thought
Oh,
really
yeah.
is the makeup job.
not even looking at
it. To the hair and
Well-
makeup for SNL to do this.
I like how they
a tough
forehead
spot.
is really exaggerated.
That is
It's
odd.
not even a forehead.
Last question, just being, you know, we finally.
You haven't
Sean
asked the
was
first
back
question.
at the podium today. Apparently he was on Navy reservist duty. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yes.
I got to bring this up, Jan Natterman.
Not giving up material.
No,
To the late night riders?
I think you know she's her own. In a opposite end of the spectrum, that Southern charm.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear I want to have a mint julep and bet on horse racing, but it's like you know. That
Nothing
saying,
he
it's
said
not
is
what
hitting.
it's how you say it.
And I've
She
been
can
there.
say
That's hard
anything,
because
it'll be fine.
she's
Like,
clearly
I
stupid.
declare we are at war with North Korea.
And he's
I'm like,
making
all right,
references
okay.
that she doesn't
It's all
even
good,
doesn't seem to
you
get.
know?
She's a news person.
Listen, the bushes.
guy.
And this guy is crazy.
He was in the bushes.
Sean Spicer.
It's
He's repelling her on a level I've never seen before.
This is the only press conference in the history of the White House where reporters walked away with poison ivy. Hey, we're gonna
She
have a
could not be
press
drier.
conference. You bring the bug spray, I'll bring the s'mores. I don't know what we're doing.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Jay's laughing.
It's just
That's
something
good.
on stage.
We gotta laugh.
She's pointing out people who are laughing.
Always a pleasure.
Great to see you
Thank
again.
so very much.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, she's drying up in her chair. And then we go to a picture of Charles Barkley. He looks disturbing. Charles Barkley is starting to look like some sort of Australian bug. That doesn't he look like some sort of bug that can jump 20 feet? His head looks like a Australian bush spider. Now listen, Paul Mercurio, who's just on CNN, has been a friend of mine for a long time. He is a very funny, very smart comic. He was on the original writing staff of Daily Show. Yeah, and he was there with Kilborn, and I can remember seeing him at a bar. Oh God, that's right. When Caroline's first opened on Broadway and 50th, you might remember this too, John. In I guess 92, 93, there was a bar where what's the sushi joint next to it right now? It's famous. There's one on the Upper West Side too, the original one. Fuck. Anyway. That place was called the Comedy Cafe, and it was attached to Caroline's, and they tried to get away with like the Hard Rock Cafe of comedy.
right.
You know, there'd be like a Milton Berle borscht. You know what I mean? A Milton Berle long hot dog, stuff like that. You know, and he'd have like the size of his cock, a hot dog.
Oh, God.
The Milton Berle long hot dog, and that it didn't catch on. It didn't catch on. Nobody laughed at the food. You don't want to laugh at food. And I remember talking to Paul at the bar of that place. That's how long ago this was. And he was saying how much he doesn't like Kilborn. But the rest of the show he thinks works. And then they brought in Jon Stewart, and he was immediately fired. No. Then he wrote for John and was a correspondent, I believe, for a while. But then Paul made sort of an infamous name for himself when he was the guy, the radio team Opie and Anthony, who I've gotten to know post my Howard Stern days. I didn't really get to know them when I was on Howard. There was that feud going on that made no sense. But when I was allowed to go on their shows, whatever that means, afterwards, I love them both. I really enjoy going on each of their shows. And Opie has had me on quite a bit. It's serious. And God, I've laughed so hard there, man. And he is just an absolutely great host. And I love Opie. But Anthony Cumia, gave his Michael Richards version. A lot less sophisticated. It was not on stage at a club. It was him doing the Michael Richards bit alone in Times Square and hurling the insults, not at an audience member, but in fact an African-American hooker. That led to his dismissal. Of not of life, of like Michael Richards apparently. When's the last time you saw Michael Richards? You don't see Michael Richards anymore. You see that guy that Steve Jobs fired from Applemore, John Cuddy. You see Hardavian Clowney more. You see Steve Harvey's staff more. The first day, I would march right into the dressing room. I would ambush him. And go, Steve, my uncle wants to start his own line of mustache cleaners. Mustache cleaners with your name on it. It's a winner. Can I just sign the contract for you? Motherfucker, do you not read? This is Steve Harvey Firestein. Let me say this. My cum-soaked throat could not speak the other day. So I put my wishes in an email. A lot of the times, my jizz-dampened esophagus cannot scream out loud in an entertaining fashion as I am right now. A lot of times, as I am right now, I'm lapsing into Nixon. Let me tell you that as Steve Harvey Firestone, do not come in my dressing room, Kissinger. I will now read the following email to my staff. Do not. First of all, welcome back. First of all, welcome back. The White House has finally got a president that's the same color as the White House. After 8 years of, let's just say, the Dark Ages. The Inquisition, yes indeed, what a show. The Inquisition, welcome in. The Inquisition, look out, in fact, sin. And, yeah. During those 8 years, we found out that Mr. Kissinger was telling me a bit of a white lie. More of a July. He was telling me a July in June. And there's nothing like a July in June. You're a July lie. And I found out that he, in fact, is a bearded New Yorker. A bearded New Yorker. As you know, the Nixon administration, when I came back into office with the re-election, I said 2 things are going into legislation. One is a new name for Jews. We're now calling them bearded New Yorkers. It'll take years before they figure it out. And, of course, the blacks. If you want to say something derogatory towards the blacks, do not use the N-word. It's the most offensive word on the planet. I have created a word that I think will be fine. Moon cricket. So blacks are now moon crickets. Jews are now bearded New Yorkers. I've passed that through the House. We're looking for the Senate. And let me just say this, Schumer. We're coming after you, Kaiser Permanente. You better sign off on this bullshit. Because the next time you and the rest of your bearded New Yorker friends are afraid because a moon cricket is at your door because it's real life, not a burglar alarm commercial. and you want to use your Bye-Bye Moon Cricket app. Bye-bye, Shoo Moon Cricket. Shoo. MC for short. Is that MC Hammer? Is that Moon Cricket Hammer? That's Moon Cricket Light. Moon Cricket Light. Get away, shoo, shoo, leave. Leave, Simon Wiesenthal. Leave. Is that a bearded New Yorker instructing a moon cricket on how to rip me off? Is that the bearded New Yorker using the moon cricket as muscle against me? Boys, we're going to find that sumbitch. Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. The American Bystander is the only paper I read. Here's a good article. Bearded New Yorkers and moon crickets. Where will it end? Mexicans are, of course, still known as filthy Mexicans. One or two things that Mexicans bring here that make me sick. The swine flu. And, of course, Mexicans. Mexicans, still a staple. If you want to make white people sick, just bring yourself across the border and refuse to clean the shit out of my shit house. Somebody's got to do it. Do you think Michael Landon's kids are doing it? Michael Landon has 73 white children. All of them studying the Torah. None of them have passed the Torah. And they're all snorers. Quite frankly, Kissinger kept telling me, because I lost a lot of fortunes, he told me I had a Goyish cup. And that means a Jew that thinks like a normal person. As far as money's concerned, I like being a New Yorker better. Moon cricket needs work, but it's a very funny phrase to say. I challenge you to say moon cricket and not just go, hey, we've made it. Johnny Styne is in American Bison. Now listen, the second article in this, now look at this publication. This is impressive, and it's also impressive because I'm sure obviously it's got an online presence, but it's real. Like you can hold it, it's new. It feels good to hold a book or a magazine that's in like look, you're in this. It's great. It's very exciting because I'm a more frustrated writer than anything. Obviously, I have writer's credits on stuff, but Frank Sebastiano, I can never write anything long form. I wrote sketches from beginning to end, and obviously stand-up material. And the books I wrote with a great writer. He helped me form them into books. They're my stories, my words, but he makes them book form. Frank Sebastiano, I came to with Game Day, which is the short film that I wrote. That was a 17-page film. The biggest thing I had written at that point, 17 pages. And we made the short film out of that, which is about 21 minutes. And I was very proud of it. Took it to L.A., showed it to Frank. We won a short film festival in Santa Monica. And I won best... I had the award somewhere. I'm not going to lie to you. And laugh if you will. Laugh if you will. But I, Artie Lange, was awarded Best Original Comedic Screenplay. Written by someone named Artie Lange. No, I won Best Original Screenplay. No comment, just Best at the Atlantic City Film Festival. Well, it's a film festival, very nice. And I won the Short Film Festival. I'm glad I cut out the 90 minutes that of course, that's a Stephen Wright job. Stephen Wright, when he accepted the Oscar for, I guess I fucked it up, when Stephen Wright accepted the Oscar for Best Short Film, the first line was, I'm glad we cut the other 90 minutes out. And then he said, I would like to personally thank Johnny Carson. Thank you. That's what he said. Stand-up comic with an Oscar. That's a rare thing. But okay, now the first thing that Johnny wrote was a very original idea. It was about Brian Wilson and John Cusack having a conversation, and really solid writing, like really great original thinking, and I was proud of you. Thanks, now you got another one in. That's hard to get the second one. I was talking to Judd Apatow about the season 2 pickup. That's right. Season 2 pickup, and I believe am the biggest second regular, except for 3 other people. No, back as a regular, whatever. I did most of the episodes last year. 5 out of 8 got paid for 4, as I point out a lot. My agents at Gersh still have not done the math. 42 Jews have not figured out the difference between 4 and 5 yet, and I'll just wait. The explanation that we were given from the other Jews at HBO and Crashing Apparently Better Jews, it was the Battle of the Jews, and HBO had better Jews than me. And I looked at my Jews and I knew. I said, I bet HBO's Jews. So I demanded to see a headshot of HBO's Jews. And I said, those are Jewier Jews. I am going to get destroyed. I said, why not for kicks, just to say, I can't call back in a favor. I know it's a gimme. I'm going to lose. Let me put my cousin Anthony in there. He's about as good a Jew as them. I mean, these guys were lighting the Matorah. So I got destroyed. Apparently their Jews convinced my Jews that 4 is 5. Now, the level of Jew you have to be. Johnny, your thoughts? No, I'm saying, they pulled one over on me. I shot, ladies and gentlemen, I in fact shot 5 episodes. You know how I know it? The Jew who directed it, Judd Apatow.
The bearded New Yorker.
The bearded New Yorker. He is the head Jew in charge. He's as brilliant as anybody. Jew, non-Jew, Gentile, he's the smartest guy there. And I'll count them off with you guys. Let's count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4. They stopped the quattro. In my Richie Valens song, it goes to cinco. I'm in 5 episodes. I shot 4. They owe me 15 G's. I mean, what the fuck? And you know what their Jew keeps telling my Jew? The guy says, I'm sorry, man. I'm lighting the menorah. And don't pull one over. It's July. I'm shoveling menorah. We're giving me a bunch of bull menorah. Sandler will tell you I'm getting 8 crazy nights. Obviously, there could have been African-American agents. Wait a minute, maybe that's the problem.
Bring me back my Jews.
Bring me back my Jews. The famous Red Fox quote. I think Jesse Jackson said to Red Fox in the 70s, I think that was the story, like, there wasn't enough blacks, you got all Jewish guys writing for you. And that's ridiculous. I think the way Jesse Jackson said it was this way. Red, I think government mandate for minority citizens welcome at some time with writing outside. Esther, come back outside. Come back outside and out gorilla cookie. Esther Bubba. Come on. Jamon Wilson the dummy. Black skin. Come back out for the Fugees. While you don't understand, I don't roam. Come for Simon. You're going to cut back on that sound on the rhetoric and on the gluten. But I said forget. If I said this and Jackie said, pull back on the shit, you give him the shit. Because he got a big head. He got one of them big heads. He got one of them big heads. And he might accidentally butt dial that little Kardashian man. You don't want that to happen. And don't butt dial your wife. Shit. You're going to call him and say, which butt is this? Is this Michelle Obama? Is this J-Lo? Is this Sid Fernandez? Is this Hank Aaron? Is this Rick Mahorn? Is this Coco? Is this Ice-T's Coco? I said to Ice-T once, I said, how come she don't have butt implants? He says, I'd have blown them out by now. I've told the story before. Ice-T guest hosted Mad TV. Probably the biggest star we had. And I went up to him. We were both in the same sketch. And he was very funny in it, actually. And I had about 3 lines. I went up to him and I said, hey, goofing around. I'm trying to break the ice. I break the ice with Ice-T. I said, can I break the ice? I said, what kind of a rapper are you? He looked at me, went like this, West Coast. Then he walked away. I thought I was going to get a big conversation. What kind of rap are you? West Coast. West Coast? Are you a West Coast? Another true LA story. My hand to God on my father's grave. That means shit. I don't even think he's in it. I forget where I put him.
Oh, God.
There was an old guy who ran the funeral home. He was very drunk. And I put my father's first place glove in there with him. And, whatever, on my last report card. And, which was very proud. And my sister put stuff in, and this is how the guy talks, so creepy, who ran the funeral home. Instead of remains, my father got cremated, so instead of remains, they call him cremains. All right, so he kept going, at this point, we're going to take your father's cremains, and we're going to encrust them into the earth. I said, okay, would you like a particular song to play? As we lower your father's cremains into the earth. Can I ask you one question, Mr. Yes. What are cremains? Have you not been briefed? You know you're running the funeral. No, I have not been briefed. Okay. You know that we start off with a little lighthearted stuff like the first. What are the first 3 letters in funeral spell? Fun. And that's what we're going to start off with. I've heard that joke a million times. No, you haven't. I've seen that joke's cremains. First of all, your wise-ass attitude is not welcome here. This is a place of holiness. Now shut up, faggot. I'd like Merciful Fate Buried Alive to be playing. You sound like the singer. Really? Let me hear some of that. They lowered me down into that hole in the ground. Actual song. The creepiest song I've ever heard. Merciful Fate, Buried Alive. Check it out. Circa 83. My friend Joe Muccio played it every day in class on a boombox. The poor teacher was such a deer in headlights. She didn't ask him to turn it off. It was the scariest song of all fucking time. She would go, let's take attendance. They lowered me down into that hole in the ground. They crossed out my eyes. I couldn't feel my thighs. Joe, we're taking attendance. I was still breathing. They encrusted me in the earth. I had no girth. Shut up. You're going to have to leave here. Please, come on. I started to lose my mind. I scratched and I clawed. Sir, my life was flawed. You know the rest. Those were the days. That's when music was music. Anyway, your new article, again, combining, I think, Mad Magazine with The Onion, which are really funny puns and great writing, not just the pun. This pun is extraordinary because it has an amazing reference in it and an amazing sports reference, which is common, combined with a person you would never think would be with the other person, which is what makes a good pun. What page is it on?
23, Kirk Gibson.
23 of the Kirk Gibson article. Oh, well, okay, you know what? I just saw another amazing writer. Jack Handy's in here.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Handy of Jack Handy's. What is it called? Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Yeah. I have my favorite one. Do you guys know it well enough to where you can recite one? A Jack Handy thought?
I can't.
Can you, John?
No, I can't.
I'll give you my favorite one. Mom always said laughter was the best medicine, which is why 8 of us died of tuberculosis.
They didn't get the Tamiflu.
Yes. Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, what Jack Handy's got? Oh shit! Look at that. I love the picture of Hillary. It's 23, and we're gonna read. I'll just read you the title with the. It makes you want to go on more. Fucker. Apparently, Dan looked up producer, and it says watch a person struggle. Watch talent struggle. They lowered me down into that hole in the ground. Here it is, 23. Okay, the title is Babe Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Sweet. Now, for you millennials out there listening to the show, I'll explain who both people are. Babe Ruth is anti-abortion. He's pro-choice. How many chicks did he fucking throw down steps?
Oh, God, yes.
Hey, honey, it's the Babe. I understand you're early. Or late. I understand your period. I understand the blood that comes out of your cunt is late. I don't know the technical terms. I'm an orphan. It's called a period. You're right. It's called an exclamation mark this week.
Oh, God.
It's called no question. You're getting thrown down the stairs. And this is your article. Again, Babe Ruth Bader. The only real game I think in the world is judicial activism. I didn't even know the joke. Oh, that's great. Dan, you get the reference, I hope.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to explain this to you young fucks. Babe Ruth was dying of throat cancer. Babe Ruth was number 3 on the Yankees from 1920 to 1932. He hit 50,000 home runs, just whatever. Also the greatest pitcher of all time. Basically, if you just go by stats, no slider, no blacks. He's great. I'm going to piss. I'll explain it later. I'm having fun explaining it. First of all, I got to give props to Johnny's bit. That was a genuine laugh. I had not read the joke, and that was a genuine gut laugh. This is hilarious. Obviously, you need to get the reference, but if you don't get the reference, I don't care about you. Hey. Larry Doyle, another heavy hitter. Wow, I was flipping through with these. Ernest Hemingway. I guess it's a joke. I would love to be Ernest Hemingway, and I would love to know Ernest Hemingway, and how did I word this? Go back in time and be friends with Ernest Hemingway, and have him ask me a bunch of personal questions. I go, "What are you writing, a book?" All right, here we go. Babe Ruth Bader Ginsburg, quote, "The only real game, I think, in the world is judicial activism." At Johnny Styne. That is great. As a picture, Ruth Bader, she's one of the Supreme Court justices. She's got one of the dried up twats on the very liberal. Communist. And very womanly. And of course, a looker. Anybody see pictures of her when she was young? Was she all right looking? Was she one of those chicks that now looks like a dried up plum and then was hot? By the way, James Comey, FBI director, is 6'9".
Yeah, I know.
He towers over everybody. It's unreal.
She's kind of like that friend girl on the Abbott and Costello show. She kind of had that look when she was younger. I think.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God. You mean Mr. Fields?
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. Imagine the Jew bush.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so my
Did you put Rita Hayworth by mistake?
No. My finger hit the arrow accidentally when I was turning my computer.
Yeah.
And this is the picture I showed Johnny. That's her when she was young.
Wow. Well, no, she's a baby.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, no, we want 21.
I want to go back to the. Hold on. That's not the one, Johnny. I just want you to know I'm not.
Can anyone explain that joke? Oh, that you're a molester?
Yeah.
Keep talking.
In the joke, you're a molester? In the joke you're making, you fuck girls?
No, I said she's hot, and then my finger hit
There's
the
a
button,
4-year-old.
and then there's a 4-year-old.
Oh. I thought the joke was that it was a woman.
No. Okay, look at that.
Let me see. Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, before you said she's a dried up prune now. I mean, she looks like Babe Ruth's neck when he had throat cancer. Anyway, what I was doing there, I'll explain it to you idiots. Babe Ruth had throat cancer. He was a whopping 52. Sounded and looked like he was 411 years old. It looked like he was at the crucifixion. And a big dumb guy from an orphanage in Baltimore. And just would shit onto his feet. I think it was funny. There's a great story that his roommate, there was a roommate who was the shittiest player ever, and he was just there to entertain Ruth and make sure he didn't kill himself or someone else on the road. He was his roommate. And I forget what his name was, but he got interviewed once. He was still alive as of several years ago. And he told this story about, I was in the shower, and I felt a warm stream on my back. And I looked over my shoulder, and there was the babe and a whore. And he was urinating on my back and laughing like crazy. And the whore was laughing like crazy. He was laughing. God, he thought that was funny. Literally, the guy's job was a piss mat. Like, the guy's occupation was, we're barely giving you a uniform. Don't think about getting up. No one's going to know your name. You won't be on the roster. You're there for him to, instead of killing the whore, to entertain himself instead of murdering a hooker and us having to deal with those legal fallout of killing a hooker. We'll get the Ted Kennedy team on that one. Ruth, is this her baby Ruth? I understand you drowned a whore in piss. Now, were you driving off a piss river? Were you driving by Kennebunkport? I understand that Edgartown, the Atlantic Ocean at Edgartown is partial piss. And I understand that the young girl you were with drowned in your urine, which is basically a staple in the Kennedy compound. My father Joe taught us originally how to drown a whore in your own urine, as well as strangle them with your hardened excrement, which will be next week's era lesson. But for now, let's imagine, from what I'm told, Mr. Ruth, you're an enormous man. A hunka-bunka ballroom. A man who sweats fun. A man who rolls over and you find in his fat folds Paul Schaefer. And the lyrics to It's Raining Amen. Era Hallelujah. Now, to drown a whore in your urine, you must first fill the bay around Edgartown with your urine. You must drink about 4 cases of Stegmaiers by noon. A cheap yet wonderful beer. Very inexpensive for our outdoor era barbecues. When you've dropped most of your allowance for the weekend on era Red Lobster, and you need a cheap, check that, inexpensive brew. There's only 2 words, Steg and Myers. $4 cases. When you burp, it smells like liverwurst and Coors Light. And soap. Yes, it's that wonderful. You have to look like Brad Pitt's better-looking brother to get laid. So, once the Edgartown Bay is filled with your urine of Stegmaiers, you then drive the young lady whore home. And then, I say, veer off Tracy Morgan style. Veer off into the urine-filled bay and let the whore float to the bottom of the bay. As her lungs fill with your yellow, piss-encrusted, hooker-killing, policy-making, dead brother having, criminal father looking, retarded sister who plays with herself at dinner having. Senator. Go down and look at her and say, whore. You'll address her as whore and era nothing but whore. Say whore. This is Ted. Era, my face looks like a Bowie Kennedy. My large red head face looks like a buoy. A Baba buoy. Now I'm just being silly. You say, whore, are you drowning? Are you in fact stuck behind the wheel that I said I was driving? And she'll goggle back as only a whore can goggle. Wait a minute, I speak some whore. She's giving me whore Morris code. She's giving me whore's code. I'm getting whore's code. Wait a minute. You know what? I'm used to the liquid you're gargling to be much thicker. Let me jerk off into your lungs. I then spew out my load that is strong enough to go through water. Urine water. So now my own jizz is going through my own urine down into the whore throat of a whore. Now, tell me that again, whore. Are you drowning? That's a yes. Okay. I'm going to do what I did for Mary Jo Kopechnik. I'm going to go get help. See you in about 45 years. At St. Peter's. When I'm trying to get the fuck into heaven. I'll need your testimony about tonight. That's right. I said 45 years. No, not minutes. No, not seconds. You heard right. You're going to die tonight. And I'll be president, hopefully. Now I'm speaking English. I've turned into Peter O'Toole. You know what? This is going to be my favorite 45 years. And I guarantee it's going to be your least favorite 45 years. I know you're only 20. In other words, when you would have been 65, I'll see you. When you would have been the age I am now. Yeah, you're trying to hook her. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So anyway. So Babe Ruth, when he had lung cancer, that's how he spoke. And he made a famous speech on Babe Ruth Day. I don't know how he was standing. He looked terrible. It's the worst I've ever seen a human being look alive. I mean, he died like a day later. But he made a speech that was pretty poignant. He said, and part of it was, the only real game, I think, is baseball. And very touching. So what Johnny did was combine the two. And instead of baseball, it's judicial activism. And that is a very funny joke. And good job, buddy. Yeah. Good
Thanks,
job.
man.
And much more good luck in the American Bystander, and you'll be here a lot. And also, as a, we'll get to Mercurio, as a gift to placehold where you write, you gave me a genuine Daily News press photo of a Browns Giant game.
I think it might be
Cleveland
a playoff
Browns
game.
Giant game, right? Now this is a playoff game.
I think
so this would be in the 50s.
1950. Yeah.
1950 or late 50s, early 50s.
Is that Municipal Stadium?
That's Yankee
That-
Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
But no, you're right. Cleveland Municipal had those things too.
Yeah, those beams or whatever.
And they were around forever. they were there. That's great, man. Thank you. That's the genuine
That's a cool
thing.
picture.
That guy must have, that big black Brown.
Mary
Interesting,
Motley.
big black Brown. Is Motley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where Motley Crue got their name.
I just want to point out, you can't see it on the radio, but Steve Torelli did the illustration of Babe Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
We're going to put it on the web. We're going to put Facebook, everything.
Okay, cool.
And on Twitter, and Torelli will get Torelli did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And that's the famous Babe Ruth picture I have. It's from that photographer put me in that pose.
Yep.
Where Torelli is a big fan. No, Torelli, real talented guy, and as is Johnny. When they get together, you get shit like that. I genuinely laughed out loud at that. So good job. Now, Paul Mercurio, we were talking about my buddy Paul before. He was on CNN. And again, you have to listen to the Natterman Mercurio fight on Comedy Central, the Comedy Central podcast. Not just because I'm on the podcast. And afterwards, Juskow, myself, and this real funny comic, Mike Vecchio, who I'm trying to get on the show. Such a good writer. Really original delivery. You know you're a good writer if Attell hires you to do a lot of his stuff. If he does, like, he used to. Attell was doing a lot of stuff at the Village Underground for, I think, their website or YouTube. And he'd do a monologue in the beginning, and sometimes he would do bits that were pre-written that I was involved with. And Vecchione was hired as a writer for Attell. And if Attell hires you as a joke writer, or any kind of writer, you know you're good. So Vecchio, myself, and Juskow, after the Mercurio Natterman fight, were with Noam, again, Noam like a father to me, an older brother at least. His father, Manny, was a great man. And Noam is now running it down there, and he does a great job. Him and Esty, legendary people. Legendary in the comedy world. Esty and Noam, and his father, Manny, certainly was. And Val and Steve and all the gang down there. Liz, they do an amazing job. The wait staff. So the Comedy Cellar, like another home to me, and they're like family. So what was I talking about?
Mercurio.
Mercurio.
The Comedy Cellar
They asked
podcast.
right, exactly. So Noam hosts the podcast with Dan Natterman, another hilarious comic and a Comedy Cellar regular. Look for him on a couple of the first season of Crashing. He's funny in both episodes, and hopefully he'll be on again. But him and Noam host a show that's on Sirius as a radio show and a podcast as well. They go longer for the podcast, and it becomes uncensored. But, Mercurio was on, and they asked him to come on because they know he's friends with me. And Juskow, because he knows. I thought it was just going to be me, quite frankly. I sit down, I see Juskow, I'm like, Jesus. Do we have to hear about how funny he was in the Crashing thing? Your shirt was off and you're walking around with Jell-O. How you're not getting laughs? Anyway, Natterman was being real, how can I put it, bearded New Yorkie. And Keith Robinson said that was being real moon crickety. No, Dan was, again, Dan is a very nice to me, Natterman. Me and Natterman have a good, we respect each other's talent. I think he's really funny. He likes me. We're very different. And he's a big Stern fan. He wanted to interview me, which I thought was flattering. And Noam invited a lot of people there. I love those guys, but it does get crowded on the radio. And Noam wanted him to stay there. And Dan, quite rightfully so, only had an hour at Sirius. He goes, I want to talk to Artie about these certain things because I had been arrested, And so he starts getting hostile towards Juskow, but really towards Paul. And I understand there was a story before that, maybe, where they didn't like each other. Not like each other, but there was a tiff. And Natterman was being very passive-aggressive. Everybody noticed it, including Paul. I know Paul has a bit of an anger thing, like we all do. All good comics do. And he was ready to blow, and he blew. He blew. You don't do that to fucking me. You don't fucking do that to me. Screaming at him. And Natterman didn't do anything. And Natterman has this thing that a lot of Jews have.
A nose?
Where he's being yelled at, he gets a lazy eye. Blacks have it when they're raping women. Italians have it when they're, mobbing. I gotta hit all the fucking ethnicities.
The Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody. We'll include everybody. I'm an equal opportunity offender, whatever. It's another way of saying you're a racist. Yeah, I hate everybody. Not really. Just you. So Paul screamed at him, and it was very awkward because it's two nerds having a fight. You don't usually see, but Paul's not really a nerd, but he's not a guy you think. I mean, he's Paul's a funny guy, and he kind of gets a shit rap down there, from what I hear. I never see him ever. Needing a handout. He always looks busy to me. And he's a smart comic. I've been on the road with him. And I've done his podcast a couple of times. Good guy. But that was a funny argument. And we laced into it a little bit more. So now Paul was on CNN. And when I saw him, I go, that's great. He's working. Very difficult spot. Very difficult spot. We've all these chicks, first of all, on CNN or Fox. What is the thing here? How are they so hot? Rupert Murdoch puts somewhere he found that he put an ad in the paper like hottest chick who can pronounce rhetoric. They all have degrees in political science from Northwestern or something. And then of course there's Jake Tapper, who's very, very sarcastic. And of course his nickname, his middle name is Wire. During this trying time. So Paul was throwing out some jokes. This woman, they were not hitting. And Paul was late. When you're doing that, and I've been there, we've all been there. When you're doing that, it just lies there. And this vapid whore, no, not a whore. I mean, we're talking about a person, right? This vapid non-whore, not a woman you want to drown in your own urine. No, not a whore, but just kind of not getting it. Yeah. He may look. Who knows if it's funny or not? But Paul's making a lot of references. That are references you should know if you've been covering the election for 14 years. And it laid flat. And this woman actually had the audacity to point out someone laughing like it was such an anomaly.
I know.
Oh wait, look, there's a person laughing. Look, there's Sasquatch. Is that the Loch Ness Monster or someone laughing at a joke you made? But Paul, I'm with you, and I look forward to seeing you again. And I didn't mean the jokes afterwards, but I'm a comic. Us three were comics. We had to do something. It had to be addressed, and Dan was there. All right. So that, and what is the last thing I wanted to mention?
The story today about Howard taking a day off.
What did I say? Well, I did the Ruth Bader.
Paul Mercurio.
I did Mercurio, and then the day off. Yeah. Well, we should talk about that, I guess. Howard took a day off, and everybody's up in arms about it. Calm down. The man's 62. He could take a day off. Again, people are he spoiled people over the years. That is, I mean, we're talking thousands of hours of entertainment. Just calm down.
It was a story that you guys, you were going to tell on the air. It was a story with Howard. Yeah. You came in. Do you remember? He said, I'm going to tell a story when I...
the funny exchange.
Okay.
Like it's funny, like, I feel what's happening is a lot of times, Howard will get close to you as a friend, and I, a lot of times didn't get the memo on what's going on the air, and he would project. In other words, Howard really is, he had a very, like I've said this before, a very impressive brain, Howard. It was able to work in all different compartments. And he was one of those guys, it was funny, and in a moment of, levity during the writers' pitch meetings we had one every Thursday, we pitched ideas to him, he would, realize this about himself and laugh. And Gary would point it out. Howard was the kind of sort of genius who would get mad at you for not thinking of something he thought of. It's like, why do you think of it? I don't know. My IQ's not 180. And he had a way of fixing things if he put his mind to it that, quite frankly, Gary, a DeVry graduate, and myself, a CSB graduate, cannot think of.
Which is higher on the chain, DeVry or Connecticut School of Broadcasting? Which do you think?
Get a coin. I'll tell you what's the lowest, the W. Kamau Bell Comedy School. W. Kamau Bell now does a show called The United Shades of America, which, again, has abandoned comedy. He calls himself a comedian, and he does these funny little, they try to be funny, promos where, Wolf Blitzer's rapping. The joke of an old white guy rapping, when that joke was invented? The day after rap was invented. The W. Kamau Bell searches out the one Ku Klux Klan member left in the country and pretends like it's a bad epidemic. He gets the kid in a diner and goes, white supremacy, like he's a moron, like every one of us white people would. Everyone in the Knights of Columbus want to smack him in the face. There's no problem, W. We covered this issue 50 fucking years ago. No one needs your goofy show. And he'll be at the Emmys. Oh, he'll be at the Emmys because the Emmys are so scared. They're so scared not to nominate him because he'll cry. Conan O'Brien, Kimmel. No, it's like, come on. He's making big deals out of something that. Okay, if the guy's got an AK-47, he's going to spray them all. Just tackle him. He goes, we went to the corner of Mystic Lake, Minnesota, and found 1 square foot. That's called 1 square foot village. And a midget Klansman lives there. It's so sad and scary if he can get his message out. We interviewed Klansman McGrew. Well, listen, nigger. I'm a midget nigger hater, and I love the white people. And I'm white. And you cut the shot to come out, like almost crying, like the Indian, like William Hurt in Broadcast News. Did you edit Albert Brooks? Did you edit that in? Come out, Bell. Come out. Did he edit that? It's in there. I'm telling you. I mean, how are you falling for this? Is Dana Bash falling for this? How did you? I mean, this is worse than the Mercurio spot. Did he have Wolf Blitzer crying or rap? Was Wolf Blitzer rapping? The man's an old white man. Is that the bit? Is that the bit? That's the, oh, come on. I mean, come on. He does more hackier jokes than I have hair on my back. Have you seen Modern Romance? When I shave, the part where I shave with a towel on, when I find the phone bill, I look like James Caan's hairier brother. Is W. Kamau Bell saying that the Klan is still an issue? Even the Klan is not an issue. Who was the first Klansman? Nathan Lane? The first gay Klansman, I think, was J. Nathan Lane. Do a bit on that. That's funnier. Looking for comedy in the Kamau Bell world. I mean, the Kamau Bell would not know something funny if it crawled up his ass and built a camp. What are we doing here? You know what? He's ruined the yolk. He's cracked the comedy egg. And now there's yolk all over the place. And the yolk's on me. I can't get a film done. Ever since the Muse, it's all, although we're using the money for Kamau Bell promos. He's got that the crazy fro thing going. He's got those glasses. I don't mean to be offensive. We all know what happened to 300 years of busing. Or was that slavery? Was it the porno film Rosa Parks and Recreation? I wrote it. Starring Aiming Take a Polar. Hey, what? Up my polar. Listen, you can. It fills in itself. I'm lapsing into Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Anyway, the exchange that Howard had was so funny. Like, I guess he was mad we weren't palling around more. I think Howard thought of me as the ultimate, like, slob. Like, I think he could tell his friends in the Hamptons, I know a slob. But that would require me to go. Me and Dana stayed out there in his house in the Hamptons once. And we got our own room in a wing of the house. We could have just stayed there and just never left. And I think they would never have looked for us. I would have been on the show for 2 weeks like I'm still in the wing of the house. What water pressure. What water pressure. Oh, my God. And someone had good weed. The contact I got from Calvin Klein, who lived next door. True story, Ralph Sorrell on a 6 a.m. on the beach, smoking a little Haja Hooji. Coming down for the night, I see a guy in a tuxedo out of the corner of my eye and a martini on a phone, like almost crying. Like he's talking to a 21-year-old male lover. Starts to like lean into the ocean. He's going to fall into the ocean and drown. And Ralph, of course, didn't move. And I ran. I said, I got to save this guy. And I saw two guys who looked like Secret Service agents just wave me away. And I'm like, okay. They picked him up like a little baby. Didn't spill the martini and walked him inside. And I said, Ralph, why didn't you try it? He goes, that's Calvin Klein. Yeah, that's Calvin Klein. I would have saved him. His daughter, Marcy, maybe not. No. Not a big Marcy guy with the name Marcy. Marcy's are pissing me off. Marky Post, I don't mind. We used to do that. How many other people's names we could put in whipping post by the almonds. Now I'm tied to Eddie Yost, tied to Marky Post. It's not really that great. Okay, here's the crazy exchange, and I'm with this. Howard actually said this on the air. We know we never hang out off the air. Talking to me, I'm like, what? It's 6:01 on a Monday. What are you talking about? We never hang out off the air. I thought we're supposed to be friends, right? Me and you, I guess. We never hang out. I'll go, I'd love to hang out with you. I go, what are you doing Friday? He goes, I'm going to the Hamptons. I go, can I come? He goes, no. That was the mania. Johnny Styne, I love you. It's at Johnny Styne, and he's in the Bystander again, and he's hilarious, and he's going to be on and writing and contributing. And I'm glad you want to do it, buddy. You're a real talented kid.
Thanks, man.
I love you.
Appreciate
Buddy.
it.
Okay, Johnny Styne here. Dan Filato, again, I'll just say this every once in a while. Dan Filato, irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. As amazing as not just a worker, but a friend. And I love him. There's an irreplaceable guy. I love Dan to death.
We don't hang out. We don't hang out anywhere.
Well, you want to come to my bedroom? With me and Willie?